a good coffee. I mean, it's 2 p.m. I don't exactly need one, but, you know, a lot to do today. So, hello and welcome to Telecreation's Criterion Collection. If you don't know what Criterion is, let me read one out for you. I'll start actually with this one, Jigoku, which translates to Hell. It's my only DVD I have from Criterion. But it says, the Criterion Collection, a continuing series of important classic and contemporary films, presents Jigoku. They have that on the title of every single one of their films. I'll kind of give you just a gist of what they look like. So you have their title thing there. You have their cool-ass design work. Usually they have a spine labeled there. If it'll focus, it probably won't. It might. There it goes. Okay, so it says Criterion Collection there with the year of which the film was made. Then you've got, of course, Jigoku. It says who the film is made by, and in the top right-hand corner, you have the Criterion logo. On the back, you have pretty much a similar kind of stuff every time. You have a blurb about the film, what the special features of this, or the aspect of this edition is. Usually, is it a 4K transfer? Is it, a digital remaster and that kind of stuff? In this case, it is a new restored, what does it say? I can't read backwards. Restored high definition digital transfer, even though it's on a DVD, it still counts. Then you got Criterion, you got made in Mexico, that's great. You got your region A, I believe it says there. Region 1 actually, because this is DVD, usually says region A. You got DVD thing, tells you what the Criterion Collection is, and tells you more about the film. In this case, it says DVD edition, year 1960, 101 minutes, in color, monaural, so for audio, in Japanese with English subtitles, and 2.35 by 1 aspect ratio. Gives you the copyright license and whatever, and then it says the Criterion Collection is dedicated to gathering the greatest films from around the world and publishing them in editions of the highest technical quality with supplemental features that enhance the appreciation of the art of film. Visit us at criterion.com. So yeah, this is their DVD of Jigoku. Most of their cases are pretty similar. They're usually always white, unless they are a digipack. I've actually taken out the sticker that I usually get when it comes in a plastic. It comes with this Criterion sticker. This says, of course, the original Japanese horror classic. Some of them say high definition remaster. Some actually say if it's a part of the... I'd say if the director helped in... advised in the remaster, then it usually has, the director's signature. I think I have a few of those. I don't know if I have the stickers still, because when I first started collecting Criterion, I didn't really understand the importance of that, so, yeah, I put that down on myself completely. Then, of course, you have the supplementary material. I won't go through all the supplementary material, because at the same time, even I like to be surprised as to what a film can harness. So you've got a big-ass booklet, which gives you the credits, especially on the back. It gives you the cast, it gives you a whole detailed page about the transfer, and then it gives you a whole entire essay. And that's usually what Criterion do. They will provide you with this physical supplementary material. We will see further examples of this, some to the strongest of extents. Some are big video, some are big essays, some are posters, some are posters with essays on the back. In this case, this one was just a regular booklet, but they always detail the transfer and whatnot, so they always want you to know that this is the best that they can make of it. And for a DVD even, I've never owned a Criterion DVD until literally about 2 weeks ago when I got this. It actually looks really nice and sounds really nice too. The only thing that's different, I'd say, about it is that it doesn't have any optional subtitles. It just straight away has English subtitles, so I guess that's a bit of a default, but, shit happens. So I will mention, that is my only DVD one. There is going to be a very big surprise at the end of the video, so please stay tuned for what might have actually already been in the thumbnail. Oh shit. I actually don't presently have it with me now. I will be showcasing it in a later stage of this video that I will probably film in a week or two when it comes in, because I'm still expecting mail. It's Christmas, so it's going to take a while. But this comes out next year, in 2020. Hey, welcome to 2020, folks. It's still 2019 here. It's like the start of December. I film my videos a lot in advance, so that's a thing. Also, if you want to check out more collection videos, I have Arrow Video coming soon. Maybe it's already out. I don't know yet. Slipcase, steel case, director's collection, 4Ks, all kinds of stuff. It's in a playlist in the description and at the end of the video. It's called Film Shelf, because it's a film shelf. It's kind of a pun. Anyway, let's get back into Criterion. Let's start with our first Blu-ray. This is Anatomy of a Murder. This is a 1959 film starring James Stewart and actually a lot of other people. Produced and directed by Otto Preminger. This was one of my first Criterions, I think. And I'll be honest, I haven't actually watched it yet. I won't be reviewing a lot of these transfers. Some of them I might be, because some of them actually look exceptional. I mean, most of them look exceptional as it is. But this is a 161-minute long film, and I am yet to actually watch it. That's just because I haven't gotten around to it. I've been busy, but if you are familiar with how most people are with their collections of Criterions, it also comes with a really cool designed booklet. I won't go into what's inside it, though, because there's a lot. It's pretty thick, actually. But I wanted to get this for a while because I really love James Stewart films. So does my dad. I'm kind of waiting to watch it with him. And, of course, because I keep buying collection, Criterions and Arrow videos, I kind of don't always watch them. So that's the thing that happens when you have way too many films. Criticism on myself, sometimes on other people, but mostly on myself. It's fun, it's cool, I love it, I can still brag. Next up we have, okay, this is going to kind of be weird in terms of alphabetical order. We have Punchdrunk Love. Yes, I have it in my Anderson collection. I had to get a Paul Thomas Anderson collection because I really like Paul Thomas Anderson, as well as Wes Anderson, so they're right next to each other. At least I don't have P.T. Anderson, that's a completely different person. Anyway, Punchdrunk Love, terrific film. I have actually watched this because it's just a regular, it's a high definition transfer, nothing really special to it in terms of that. Like, it's not 2K, it's not 4K, but it's a nice cover. I do apologize if you see that. That's just because I need to see where the picture is. It's a pretty decent cover. I like the front. It's not bad. You will notice this. That is because I actually live in Australia. We like Region B stuff here, so I had to get this from England. Most of my Criterions are from America. Thank you, Barnes & Noble. But most of my Region B ones are from Zavvi, usually, or Fish Pond. Comes with a little booklet as well. Beautiful film. Probably, I'd say Adam Sandler's best. I haven't seen Uncut Gems yet, just saying. It takes a while to get to Australia, okay? We're slow. It's been a slow season. Rushmore. This is my most recent now of Wes Anderson, and I actually watched this because it's like 93 minutes long. Came out the year I was born, 1998. This is a really cute thing, so I like how it's all hand-drawn. Same kind of deal on the back again. This is Region B, which is very nice. It has quite a nice looking disc as well of the property, like it's the back of the library thing. You've actually got a Wes Anderson's seal of approval pretty much, because of course he pretty much is always in control of what happens with his films. Comes with a booklet with its chapters and special thanks and like a big essay that is actually quite long, but it does have cute little drawings as well, which is really cool. Very well done. As well as extra little details in the back with cast, crew acknowledgements, special thanks, and the chapters. And lastly, of course, with it comes the poster, which I think might be an essay as well. No, it's just a poster. It smells like a kind of chalk, like kind of plasticky chalk. So it's this. I want to be able to show it properly. It's kind of hard to show it fully, as I haven't even really looked at it all myself. It's the World of Max Fisher, a map of Rushmore. So it just kind of details all these little areas in the whole entire film, as if it was done by a child, because of course the main character in the film is 15 years old. So yeah, really nicely done. Very good film as well. Very happy to have this one. I would definitely recommend it to any Wes Anderson films. This is, I believe, his second film after Bottle. what is it, Bottle Rocket, which I don't have the Criterion of. I think I mentioned it. I have just a regular version. But this is where he starts to get more of his style, so that's really cool. So yeah. Cool. These two are also Region B. These are the Royal Tenenbaums and Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Holy crap, I hope I pronounced that right. I've seen it. I promise I've seen these movies. Wes Anderson usually always releases his films with Criterion. The only other ones I have of his are Bottle Rocket, but I have the Umbrella release, so it's not the Criterion, but it's probably from the Criterion remaster. Mostly Umbrella will grab the buy that version, be like, hey, can we just use that and print in Australia? That's what they do sometimes. So I do have Bottle Rocket. I like it. We have Grand Budapest, which doesn't have a Criterion to my... Oh, no, actually, I think it does. Either way, I've got the regular Australian Blu-ray for it. And I've got Isle of Dogs as well on slipcase, which is in my slipcase video. So let's start with Royal Tenenbaums. Of course, you still have your regular thing. It has Go Mordecai, which is really cool. They all have this really cute, drawn aesthetic to it, and a lot of special stuff. So these are both just... this is just a, digital restored version of the film. It actually has two booklets. One that goes in the details of the house, one that goes in the details of everything else, which is really nice. This is like the big essay one with all these little cartoon drawings and stuff. Again, I won't go into big details of it because I know how some collectors like to be really surprised by what you can get. But this one's, I'd say, if anything, Wes Anderson definitely has some of the best Criterions with special features. Because they're all fun and gimmicky in their own way. They're not just like booklets and stuff, like some of them are posters, not really, but mostly they're all booklets. And then you've got, of course, Life Aquatic, which is a 4K transfer and does look very nice. It is very nice to see Bill Murray in 4K. This one even has a great inside of the boat, so that's very fun. And it has this in landscape, so that's also really cool. And again, just like it's a small essay all about the transfer and stuff. And yeah, I would definitely recommend getting these two as they're quite nice additions, and you can get them from Zavvi or Fish Pond for the Region B version, which is really nice as well. I'm very sure Wes Anderson has a lot more films with Criterion. I just haven't purchased them outside of the ones I already have. I think I'm waiting for Darjeeling Limited is one I have to get, and there's another one that I've bought that's coming in the mail that may have already been featured. So it's all about patience. Talking about patience, the Before Trilogy. See, now you have to put in the coffee drinking editor. Haha, suck it. I'm not editing these videos. Thanks, Pierre. So this is the Before Trilogy. Written and directed by Richard Linklater. This includes Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. This is a beautiful box set. Again, same regular display on the back, but then it has these. What do we have here? What is this signature of sunset and sunrise and midnight all in color patterns? What? How clever is that? Starting with Before Sunrise, again, regular stuff. This is a 2K digital transfer. This beautifully opens up, and you get a thick-ass booklet. Not as thick as a lot of... I've actually got some really thick ones when it comes to Criterion, not with 2 Cs. But that booklet covers the whole entire trilogy. Before Sunset, yes. As you can tell, the characters are getting older with grace. It's very nice. They're all similarly done, which is very nice. And I don't mind that because, of course, they still look really nice. And yeah, then we got Before Midnight. I love that I bought this. As much as it's not the Region B version, no, this is just the Region A version. I bought this, I think, on the Criterion sale because I was really wanted to get it. And I think I got it for like 50 USD. So that's like, it was costing me maybe about 70 to 80 Australian dollars to get this. But given it is 3 films, it was $50 for the whole set, down from $100 USD. That's pretty good. Criterion on Barnes & Noble is the best place to get them, unless you live in America and Canada and can actually get them from the Criterion site, which I cannot do. Or you can go to a Barnes & Noble store, which I cannot do because they don't exist in Australia. Oh, I mean, if they do, they don't exist for me if they do. Okay, this is not actually a Criterion case. This is the Blob. I have watched the 1958 version of this, and this is exactly what I mean by Arrow Video collecting it. Not Arrow Video, Umbrella, which is the Australian one. 1958, the Blob is actually the Criterion version. Which I know because I put it on and I was like, oh, it had the whole Criterion logo and everything. I'm like, oh wow, this is from Criterion. That's really cool. You know, I got this for pretty cheap given how it was 2 films. It's actually 3 films because it has Son of the Blob as a side thing, which is really cool. So, yeah, but that's the Blob, the 1958 version with Steve McQueen. Oh, I think it's the one with Steve McQueen. It fucking better be. Either way, let's move on to... I will joyously say that it annoys the crap out of me when I buy a film and then turns out it has a Criterion version. But sometimes it's all about costing money, because for Australia you have to get it shipped, which is like $20 plus you have to buy the actual film, which is usually $15 to $30 so sometimes it sucks to buy a Criterion over getting the other version. Sometimes I have Region A Criterions that I want to get, and I want to get, and say it's a film that I want to watch with my dad, say like the Anatomy of a Murder, but it just comes to a thing of, well, sometimes it's the only way for me to get it, like say the Before Trilogy, and sometimes I have to get the Region A just because I have to get the Region A. I'd like to get more Region B ones, but unfortunately some of these I didn't know were Region B. That being said, this one is a Region B, and this is maybe my favourite Criterion remaster. Seems like a strange thing to say. Carnival Souls, Region B, so that's very nice. A 1962 horror film with a very strange picture. Like, look at that, that's creepy. This is a 4K digital transfer, and it is I think it's my favorite 4K. And this isn't even including like 4K UHD, because some 4K UHD, sometimes you don't notice the difference kind of thing. This is without the UHD, and I love this film. Like, just when I put it on, the mood, the atmosphere, everything, and then like you're actually watching it, and like the 4K nature of it, how crisp it is. It looked like it was filmed yesterday. And this is an argument against like Terminator 2 Judgment Day that was remastered digitally in 4K and looks like, yes, it was filmed yesterday, but it's got no grain whatsoever. This still has grain, and it looks gorgeous. Also comes with this creepy-ass poster of this dude, which is, again, one of those things that films have, just like Carnival Souls, with a big essay on the back, which is exactly why I've never put up most of my Criterion posters, because they're majority essays, and it's like, I mean, sometimes I might want to read the essay. And I have actually read that essay. It's a very good essay. And you'd be surprised for it to be like Region B, and yet it still comes with all the special features, and that's also really cool. So yes, sometimes buying a Criterion can be a burden, but then to be able to say like, oh, it's a part of my Criterion collection, it's like, I mean, it fuels the ego, you know. Then we have Cat People. It's a weird one. It's a 2K digital remaster. It's from 1942. I think it's one of my earliest, not my earliest, but one of my earliest Criterions. It's got a pretty decent insight. It's a pretty decent film. I mean, I really liked it, actually. I've even bought the, I haven't bought the sequel, but I've bought the remake because it was on, it was at JB and I could get it really cheap on Blu-ray, which is cool. I think that's one with David Bowie song in it. That's a lot more overly sexualized, but I'm interested to see what it's like. Then it has this cool poster of the panther, but of course you've still got it like, there's the people, there's the panther. Hey, kind of panther. Get it because it's a black cat. I've also read this one because it's a big essay as well. Very nice. I like buying old horror movies. You'll see a lot more in this list. I actually have a lot of director's collections, and I plan to maybe do a Eureka video soon because I have the Jackie Chan films that were released by Criterion, the Yeah, the Police Story 1 and 2 was released by Criterion. I actually had gotten the Eureka version before Criterion had remastered it, which is kind of annoying, but at the same time, I have the Region B version, so I don't mind, and I will probably do a Eureka video collection just because I have a lot of Jackie Chan ones, and their box sets are pretty cool. So continuing, we have Chronos, which is in my Guillermo del Toro collection. It's a 1993, I think it's a horror film. I haven't seen it yet. I got this one in quite recently as well. It's a little damaged there. You can't really see it. It's a little cracked. Sometimes that happens, which is annoying. I can get films in that get cracked or smashed up in their cases. Most of these have been pretty good, though, so that's quite nice. This has a very... there we go! Perfect example. That is a, please, hopefully that you can see that well, because it's really hard for me to get the angle of it. That is a director approved by Guillermo del Toro special edition Blu-ray. Here's the fun note, it's the only Criterion I have from Guillermo del Toro, with a beautiful booklet that even has script outlets, outsets, and whatever the hell they're called. It has part of the script, alright? Anyway, really good special features. It's just a high definition transfer, nothing important on that note. I am, of course, yet to see it. Oh, the crack really goes into the case, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Anyway, there are, of course, a lot more Criterion collections, remasters for Guillermo del Toro. I just had a lot of them were in Australia, so it was just easy for me to get them that way. You know, just on their regular Blu-rays, so yeah, that's just what happens. Like, I'm more than certain I'd like to get Pan's Labyrinth through Criterion, but sometimes, you know, if you already have the film, you don't really want to use the money to upgrade the film to just another Blu-ray when you already have the Blu-ray, so it's like, why not just buy another film of it instead? So, that's just sometimes how my mind plays. For example, this film that I'm holding right now, I got the Criterion, and then about 2 weeks later it came out with the exact same 4K remaster at JB, and I'm like, well... There's a Classics Remastered brand that we have in Australia that even remastered Mulholland Drive, which is the David Lynch film, which also, oddly, has a Criterion remaster. It's like they're connected. But of course, this is Don't Look Now, a very good psychological horror film, which I only just realized looking at that you realize that this is actually a jacket. I had to look at it from a distance to realize that's like where the head goes and the rest of it's a jacket. But it's a blood spot, and I was always looking at like it was something really abstract. It's just a jacket. Fucking hell. See, this is why I love Criterion. Their covers are amazing. So as much as I could have gotten the JB 4K remaster, because this is just Region A, so it's like, oh, that's so annoying. Yeah, but look at that fucking cover. It's gorgeous. So I really definitely love the fact that I have this. See, because you get it because she's wearing a jacket. It's all connected. It's very clever. That's where the real appreciation of Criterion comes in. Their covers are usually fracking incredible. They've actually had to change covers due to controversy, and I have one of their covers that they ended up changing. I have the change cover, of course, because they never release a thing and then re-release it for a different cover. And then you've got this big poster, which is kind of like a maze with also blood splotches and people's eyes and other things, and then on the back you have a lot of an essay, a big of an essay. This is a very good film, very psychological. I think I usually get some of these films because directors actually suggest them. For example, I believe this was suggested by Edgar Wright, so not personally to me. He wasn't saying like, hey Julian, go get Don't Look Now, it's really good on Criterion. Like, I think I was just watching a video that he was talking about this film, or like he was tweeting about it or something, so it's like, I'm very easily swayed. Now let's go real artsy-fartsy, hoo-hoo-hooey. That's right, we're talking about one of the Fellini films. It's 8.5. Why did I get this film? Mostly because I kept seeing that shot of someone's foot hanging from a rope connected to the beach, like if the camera and the person was one, and they're like a balloon / kite. It's a really surreal shot for a 1963 movie. But But also, who names their film 8.5? It's weird. And it took a while to look for as well. I think there's actually a film. I don't remember what the film is, but it's somehow it has to do with Tarantino in my head. I can't. No, maybe it's a Kevin Smith film where a character is in like a video store. What was it, Video AZ back in the day, and they're like looking for 8.5. I can't. Maybe it's Ghost World. I can't remember if it's a film or if it was a video I was watching. But they're looking for 8.5, and the person kept suggesting a completely different film because they obviously didn't have 8.5 on their thing. This is just a regular high definition transfer. It's 138 minutes long, and it's a very interesting film. Again, you got your booklet, which actually is genuinely a book. So that's actually quite nice. It's a surreal film, yes, but it takes advantage of it having a kind of a good narrative that you can understand as well. So it's very good. Highly recommend. This wasn't my first Criterion. I believe there were 2 other Criterions that I would argue are my first, but I think I may have gotten this with them because usually when it comes to like the Barnes & Noble store, I'm like, oh, I'm going to get that one and that one and that one at the same time to save on money at the same time as spending more sort of shipping. This is The Exterminating Angel. It's a Louis Buñuel film from 1962, and is also a political surrealist comedy. Just a regular high definition transfer. Why did I get this? I don't know. I didn't know until I watched it about a month ago, because I also have Belle de Jour, which I also got from JB, which was a 4K. I think it's a 4K remaster. I think there's like a Criterion 4K remaster of it too, but this is like the classics remastered. So again, they probably just purchased the transfer. Okay, it's got a big booklet in it that I'm not going to get out because it's impossible. Why did I get this film? I have no idea. But then I realized once I watched this and I watched Belle de Jour, they're all done by the same person. And the same person had directed a film that I watched about 3 years ago called The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie. So it's when I was getting very politically active and I realized that, hey, political satire isn't my thing. Turns out they're kind of not. But I still like surrealist satire, which it turns out I like a lot more because politics is boring. And so I bought this from the Criterion collection from Barnes & Noble. And I got it with 2 other films that I'll showcase later. And I'd never watched it. I've had this film for 2 years. I never watched it until about a month ago. And it's really good. Very good film. And of course, that's why I watched Belle de Jour after it, which I had gotten like 3 months ago, and then only watched it just after this, realizing that they're all done by the same director. As well as he did a film that I watched in an experimental film class, the one where the woman gets her eye cut open, but it turns out it's actually like they cut away to a cow or a goat and cut that open. It's like a very iconic film, short film. So, yeah, that was fun. It's a good film. I'm trying to make sure what I say sounds coherent. Hopefully it is coming across that way. I don't know. It's an experimental film. It's surreal. It's weird. And it's just, it exploded my head when I realized why I bought it, because I had no idea why I bought it. I didn't know if it was because of the title or what. And it's just because I wanted something that was like Discreet Charm, and it turns out it is like Discreet Charm because it's done by the same goddamn person with the exact same kind of themes. It's about politics, or the bourgeois, and class system, and also being a surrealist, satirical take, and it's really good. Then you have something else which is kind of more or less a commentary on some kind of war. I haven't really done too much research into it, but it's a strangely animated film that I already had on DVD. Never watched the DVD because I wanted to get the Blu-ray instead, even though I bought the DVD. And so I got Fantastic Planet. I was going to get, I think it was Eureka or Arrow Video. I can't remember who, but I was going to get one of those versions instead because it was Region B. But because I wanted my dad to watch this, but then I got this instead because it was Region A, 2K remaster. Also, I really like the cover. It's much better than the cover that the other one had. And then, of course, the case is a little hard to open because it kind of got damaged in the mail, so that's also fun. But the disc is fine. The disc is actually really nice. I watched this film just about maybe a week or 2 ago. It was very short, and I'm trying to get through my 500 films, which I may already have a video out about right now, maybe my first video of the year where I detail my 500 films of 2019, which of course included this film with its big poster. Look at that! It's so cool. There's this, and look how embarrassed he is. He's like, I hate my life, and she's like, wow, tiny human. They're not known as humans in the film, of course. I know that. I did watch it, but still, they look like humans for a reason. Yeah. It's good. Things just got very orange. What is that? You've noticed that too, right? Everything's very orange in here all of a sudden. At least according to my viewfinder. Okay, right, that explains that. Okay, next up. Hippity hoppity. F for Fake. One of my only Orson Welles films. I think, what's the other one I have of his? I don't have Magnificent Ambersons. I have that other one that's really famous that he did. Who cares? It's Citizen Kane. I have it on DVD. It's alright. It's good, of course, but you know. F for Fake, this is one of his last films. Actually, it was his last film until they were able to finish his actual last film, which I think came out on Netflix like last year or the year beforehand, and I never watched it because I've kept forgetting that it existed. Because they never told you it existed. Like, oh my god, Orson Welles' final film, and let's not advertise it. So F for Fake is him kind of doing magician trickery. It's a regular digital remaster. Has a small little booklet kind of poster in it. Very interesting film. Very interesting film indeed. It's 88 minutes long, so it's pretty easy to watch. But yeah, it's pretty fun. I think more or less the film kind of just, it uses magic as its main theme, but the magic is actually in like editing and film. So it's like a kind of made a documentary about film, but also about magic. So it's really like subversive in a way. It's nice. And then I remember I went to PAX a few years back and bought a comic that I was hoping to be a single volume thing because I hate long series of books because money getting wasted is annoying. Thank you, TV shows. And so, more or less, thank you, Walking Dead. And so I found Ghost World, the comic, at PAX, a gaming convention. Ghost World has nothing to do with comics. It's got nothing to do with games. It was just the King's comic booth, and I read it and I loved it, and I got the film. This is of course still the Region A version. It's a 4K remaster. With your favorite person, Scarlett Johansson. She's not your favorite person. She's a good actress. You should see her in Marriage Story. She's excellent. And this one has it's got such a great little insider stuff. So because they're very much on the nose of the fact that it came from a comic. So you have this little 8-ball comic that like it originated from, and they're like have all these little details and stuff. So there's like a whole little tiny ass comic in it, which is really cute, and it really emphasizes like, oh, you know, we know that it's from a comic, we understand that, so we're gonna have a little fun with that as well. You can watch like even like look at that disc, like look at how weird it is. Like it's like a record almost, with the director's name, the Ghost World, and everything about it. It's so kind of kooky. It does have this very in-depth booklet as well that goes into a lot of the production stuff, and is also very nice. The little 8-ball comic is also really cute, and it really partners with the comic book itself. You don't have to read the comic to understand the film. They're not completely synonymous to each other, but they have the same characters as well as some different ones. For example, Steve Buscemi's in this. He isn't in the book. But they've adapted it differently for the screen, but it still has the same themes and almost completely whole lengthwise story, just with some different takes on things. But still, really good film, really good comic. Would definitely recommend, especially the 4K. It looks great. Ooh-wee! It's time to talk about one of the first ever Blu-rays, the first ever Criterions I got. I think this was with Exterminating Angel, I believe, as my first Criterion. It's definitely the first one I ever watched. And of course, it is Hausu. I love Hausu. It's just a regular high-definition transfer, but even look at that crazy-ass backing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. I love this film. I got this in like at the start of 2017 because I was watching a podcast that was going to do a talk about it, and I was like, oh no, I need to get it, and the only version that existed was this. It does come with a nice booklet as well, quite thick as well, with a lot of production stills, nice looking disc and everything. It's actually just called House, but the guy in the video, when you watch it, is like, House! Because of course, when you look at the very focus there, see, House. Yeah, one of the first ones I watched. This was what made me realize that Region A exists. So that was the curse. It took me another 2 months to find an actual Blu-ray player, and it took me an extra $200 to buy that Blu-ray player, which is just a regular Australian one, which now has a Region A, B, and C that I can flick through. I only use it for Region A and Region 2 DVDs, or Region 1 DVDs, the regions that aren't, DVD regions that isn't Australia, pretty much. Because my 4K player doesn't play, it only plays Region B and like Region 2 DVDs, it doesn't play Region, it's not an all region free DVD player, which is annoying, but you can get those in Australia, whereas you can't get region free Blu-ray players, except for I think the PlayStation. I think PlayStation 3 is region free, but then like PlayStation 4 is as well, but you can only flick it like 4 times and then it gets permanent. So if you have a Blu-ray player but you also have a PlayStation, just stick with the PlayStation for stuff like this. So that's cool. But yes, this film is terrific. I absolutely love it, and I love that it's one of my first Criterions. I'm very sure it is my first Criterion alongside Exterminating Angel and another one that's a bit further down. Check it out. It's good stuff. Okay, this is Region B, so that's quite nice. It's a mad, 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 mad world. Look at that cover. That's creepy. It's fun. I was thinking of House, that's why I said creepy. This is fun. I love this. It's a 4K transfer of the general release with a high definition transfer of the 197-minute extended version of the film. Yeah, this film is 163 minutes, but the extended version is 197. This comes with 2 discs, of course, because it's got 2 whole films, because it's got 2 versions of each film. It has a big essay that goes into the detail. The whole entire background, as you can see there, just says mad, because it's crazy balls. It's all mad. It's a fun booklet as well, with a nice poster that wraps around very nicely. I've only seen the theatrical cut of the film because it was A, the 4K remaster, and B, a hell of a lot shorter. I still love long films, but holy fuck. So eventually I'll watch the extended version, but I'm happy it's Region B, so that's a big plus. Then we have a film with the title that I can never pronounce. This one I have been waiting to get forever. I wanted to get this probably as of a year and a half ago, and it took me until about a month ago to get it. Why haven't I watched it yet? Because I want it to be number 500 on my list. Because it's the most impronounceable fucking name. Jean Dillman, 23, Quai de Commerce, 1080 Brussels. A film by Chantal Ackerman. Yeah, the film about the woman who goes crazy because she's doing the same household chores every day is the only idea I know about the film, and it goes for 201 minutes, 3 hours and 20 minutes, and I want it to be my 500 film. It's a 2K restoration. I know nothing about the film outside of crazy, woman goes crazy from doing the same thing over and over again. And comes with a booklet as well. I haven't looked at any of this because I want to watch it so badly. You have no idea, but I want it to be number 500. So, yeah, most likely, if my 500 fit my 500 movie list have already come out by this stage, then you know this is my 500th. But if it hasn't, stay tuned. That video is coming out soon. Also, I feel like it might seem thematically relevant because I've been watching 500 movies and this is a film about someone doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. Did you get it? Do you get it? I'm using theme to back up my own depressing life. It's not actually depressing, but it's still like fucking 500 movies. You have no idea what it's done to me. A video about that coming out soon as well. Hoi. Alright. Oh, now we get into some fun part. I like Stanley Kubrick. You might know him for his famous films like The Shining. Probably nothing else because you might be a general audience member. most general audience members only know him for pretty much The Shining, I guess, and 2001. I have them both on 4K. Check out my 4K video. Even though I have none of those in my 4K video, I don't think. But the still case of The Shining, I have that. But I also have these two, which are the only Criterions I have of Stanley Kubrick, which I hate because I really want to get the Barry Lyndon Criterion, but the version I have looks gorgeous anyway. Same as Lolita and Dr. Strangelove. I'd love to get all of those in Criterion. Spartacus, I have a good digibook version as it is. I don't need the Criterion version. I probably will never get the Criterion version. Actually, I might, because it's my dad's, so I might actually get the Criterion for myself. I don't know if they've done Full Metal Jacket or Clockwork Orange. They definitely haven't done 2001, so... Yeah, so these are the ones that I do have of his. I haven't watched them yet. There is The Killing, which comes with... I think it comes with Killer's Kiss as well, doesn't it? Yeah, so there's The Killing. I'm very sure it came with Killer's Kiss, but I don't know if that might be a completely different person's film. Either way, it's not bad. It just comes with a regular booklet and stuff. I don't know much about the film. I haven't yet to watch it, of course. But it is 84 minutes. I could do it soon. And Paths of Glory as well. Again, I haven't watched this one. They're both just digital restorations. Both of them very similar kind of fashions with the booklet and everything. But I've heard they're very good. So, well, I mean, I've heard Paths of Glory is very good. I got The Killing more or less to complete my Kubrick collection. I believe I have every single Kubrick now. I'm very sure I do. Alright, so this is the end of part 1. Kind of abrupt, I know, but the video original raw file goes for like an hour and a half. Luckily my editor is cutting it down a lot, but then he notified me, hey, it's way too long for one part. So I'm like, alright, I'll film this extra part, extra clip here. So, of course, there will be more coming in a few days' time. We'll have the part 2 of my Criterion collection, followed by a special unboxing of my latest, biggest Criterion edition, which I also had to film additionally to the original footage because it came in 2 weeks after I filmed the original footage. So that's fun. Outside of that, thanks so much for watching this first part. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more. On the side here, there should be my film shelf playlist, which includes my still case collection, my slipcase collection, a lot of reviews of different types of films and unboxings and 4K and all these different types of collections and stuff. Of course, I will be continuing with Criterion in the next video, and then we'll be doing Arrow Video in another 2 parts, and Eureka Cinema. So, yeah. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Adios.